Millions of you followed my journey where I changed my life in a 6-month period, and so it's no surprise that this has become my most requested update video. How are you doing since you completed your 6-month journey? It's been over 2 years, and in that time frame, a lot has changed for me. My 20-year relationship ended and I got divorced, I moved, and all of this has really been in the last few months. So many big changes in my life have happened, but I'm happy to say that checklist I started 2 years ago has in a lot of ways been my North Star through the toughest year of my life. I didn't realize how important having these daily checkpoints to keep me on track would be for my future. But because I stuck with this for a 6-month period, these daily habits really became ingrained in me. And although I don't stick to them perfectly, I really have for the most part stayed on this path since I started back in November of 2022. I will sit down and chat with you in a bit about this more, but my mornings really look the same besides some mornings I don't have my kids with me. And on this particular morning, that was the case. When I do have my kids, I usually start this routine after I have sent them off to school. I'll brush my teeth, and then I have added yoga flows to my mornings. It's just about 10 minutes of deep stretches, and they really help wake up my body and get me in a good mental space. My friend Bobby is a master yoga instructor, so I love doing hers. I've recently started challenging myself again to get 10,000 steps a day, and I don't always do this, but I made it a goal for the month of February to make that a non-negotiable. So I noticed if I add a 30-minute walk to my workouts each day, that usually gets me to my 10,000 steps, no problem. I'll check myself around 8 p.m. and sometimes I'll need to add another walk to get there. Again, this is just something I've been doing recently, and I notice when I incorporate walks to my days, I just feel better all around. So I've been loving this challenge. Next, I'll do my workout, and these don't take me much time. I've really still been pretty much doing the same workouts I was doing years ago. I actually recently created videos to go along with my 6-month plan, but I will get into that here in just a minute. On this morning, I had quite a bit of editing I needed to do, so I'm gonna make a smoothie for breakfast and get to work. This looks like a lot of stuff, but what I'm going to be putting in my smoothie is, I usually do just like a handful of frozen fruit. I'll do a scoop of protein, almond milk, some yogurt. Then I'm also gonna add some greens and collagen in today. I don't do that all the time, but I'm gonna do it today. And then a handful of spinach. I really just want a protein smoothie, and so that's how I'm gonna make sure to get my protein. And I'm just craving something fruity, so. I do have a discount for this protein. Well, this company, Clean Simple Eats. That's where I get my protein and greens, collagen. So I will have that code linked below. If I'm just doing a smoothie like this, I'll do the vanilla. But my favorite protein is their cake batter and their brownie batter. And I still, to this day, like that's my favorite. And I talked about it in my last video years ago. That's still my go-to. Before I get into editing, I wanted to journal, and I have been going strong in the journaling department really since the beginning of last year. But in the last 2 months, I have not missed a single day of journaling, and it has been life-changing. The word I picked for this year was intention, and so each morning before I really start my day, I journal what my intentions are for the day. I just realized how easily distracted I get, or a lot of the time lazy, and before I know it, the entire day has gotten away from me and I don't really have anything to show for it. So I like to start my morning with this. I'll set my intentions for the day, And then in the evening, I'll check back and document if I completed my tasks that I had intended to that day. Like I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of editing I need to do. Me and my friend Bobby have created something I've been really excited to share. This has been months and months of work behind the scenes, and I'm going to show you what that is in just a minute. All right, I'm gonna make lunch. So I'm using just an extreme wellness wrap, some turkey, cheese, shredded lettuce. I like some tomatoes on there, bacon. I always cook bacon for the week and then I just heat it up, and then some light mayo. I wanted to sit down and talk with you guys a little bit about just like an update. I know the main question everybody's going to have is, were you able to keep the weight off? That is why everybody's clicking on this video, is to see an update with that. So as far as that goes, I pretty much stayed the exact same the last 2 years, and that is without going on one single diet. Now, the thing is with me, a typical year for me is me going on about 4 or 5 diets, which is actually insane. It's because in the past, I've always constantly lost weight and then I've put it back on and then I've lost it and I put it back on. The average woman will go on 136 diets in her lifetime. Obviously, there's a problem. Obviously, something is missing. And the reason is because once we lose that weight, we go right back to our old habits. So the whole point of me doing this 6-month challenge was I wanted to become this person permanently. I wanted to be the person that just did this stuff every single day. Like, that's just who I am. And the only way to see consistent results is to be doing things every single day that are going to keep those results. For those of you who maybe clicked on this video and you don't even know what I'm talking about, I will link the original video below, but let's go over the checklist. So in the checklist, what I did on my phone is I just had some bullet points, and it was just a bunch of tasks that I would do every single day. So this is what was part of the challenge that I did for myself. The first one was to wake up early. I would say waking up early and going to bed early are probably the things that I'm struggling with the most and what I'm not the most consistent with. I've noticed when I don't have my kids, I do end up staying up so flippin' late, and I don't know why. Like, I just struggle going to bed when I don't have my kids, which also makes me sleep in, and I don't like doing that. So that is something I think I need to work on again. The next one was hydrate with water, and I also have on here mineral water. So I like to add things to my water, and I didn't have an amount. There wasn't a specific amount that I wanted to drink every day, but as long as this was on my checklist, I was more aware of making sure that I drank water, because there are days that I wouldn't even drink any water. The next one is meal plans, and then I put in here macro. So just to stay on the macro challenge that I had. So I wanted to stick to a certain amount of macros every single day. The next one was go on a walk outside. I do have a dog, so obviously I have to go on walks every day, but I was doing this. I started this challenge in November. I live in Utah. My 6-month journey was literally through the winter, and I was outside every single day. I made sure that I went on some kind of walk. Oh my gosh, I want to say this is like one of the most important things, you guys. If you can just get outside every day and just go for a walk, there's something about the fresh air, there's something about movement. It just gets that negative, I don't know, if you're going through hard things in life, like, it just lifts your mood. I always came back from a walk much happier than when I left. The next one was exercise 4 to 5 times a week. So this was not every day, and I didn't do a specific amount of time. It was just lift some weights 4 to 5 times a week. That was my challenge. The next one was read, write, and meditate daily. Still doing that every single day. The next one is get 8 hours of sleep. Again, the reason I put this in here is because I was struggling at the time with getting enough sleep. I was going to bed way too late. I was waking up way too late, or like right at the last minute. I feel like it threw me off for the entire day. So because this was part of my checklist, I was just more intentional about it. And the last one is to cut out negativity. All right, I would say, without checking these things off every day, because that's not what I do anymore, I would say just who I am as a person. 90% of this I have stuck with since I started November 1st of 2022. Now we are in the year 2025, so we're coming up on, well, this November would be 3 years. This is just who I am now. And again, it's because you do something for a long enough period of time, it becomes a habit where you're not having to think about it anymore. It's just who you are. Again, I would say like reading, writing, meditating, a must every day. I don't even think about it. It's just something that I do. Exercising 4 to 5 times a week, something I do no matter what. Going on walks, something I do. Again, right now I'm doing my challenge where I get at least 10,000 steps in a day. It's just what I do. Cutting out negativity. This is something I had to work so hard on because naturally, I think we all are just negative. Like we get on these negative mind loops. And so when I'm aware of my thoughts, I will notice like a change in my physical body when I'm thinking negative thoughts. And so I'll catch myself and I will redirect the thought to something positive. That one thing alone is life-changing. Why I think this is such an important thing. I think everybody at some point in their life needs to go on a 6-month journey. Now you can create your own. You can have your own checklist. You can be putting tasks or things that you specifically need or want. I'm not saying do this exact thing, but why it was so crucial is because, at least for me, I noticed, my day would just be crazy. I'd get to the end of the day and I really wouldn't have much. I didn't really know what I got done that day. I also felt like I was in a bad mood. I felt like my life was just kind of happening and I felt like I was not in control of it. By me doing this, it keeps me on task. And I knew if I just focused on the day that I had, I'm not worried about in 2 months or 3 months or in 6 months. I'm only focused on today. I'd clear my list every morning and I just focused on one thing at a time, but it also kept me intentional throughout the entire day because it was something I was crossing off all day long. So there was something about doing that for a 6-month period that truly transformed me. I used to struggle severely with binge eating, and I think that's why it was so easy for me to put the weight back on after I had lost the weight. I truly never believed I could beat it because I had tried everything. I'd read every book. Nothing helped me. When I finished the 6 months of this, another month went by, honestly, another year. It wasn't until the end of 2024 where suddenly the thought came to me, you don't binge anymore. And I remember when that thought came to me, I was like, what the heck? I never thought I would beat it. And there was not like a moment where I realized like, oh, I'm just over binging. I believe it was the day to day decisions of sticking with this that before I knew it, that was no longer a part of my story. And so again, I cannot stress to you enough how important it is, I think, for everyone at some point in their life to challenge themselves to 6 months. And you can start today. You don't need to wait for the first of the month. I started November 1st. That is like the most random time to start a challenge. But looking back, it was the best thing I think I could have ever done for myself because it did so much more than just help me lose weight. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I improved drastically. Like I was unrecognizable truly by the time that 6-month journey was over. Now, I wanted to bring up something that I have been working on with my friend Bobby. I think I already mentioned this earlier today, but we have been working on this program and we called it Master Myself because it's really all encompassing. We're doing spiritual, physical, mental, emotional work in this program that's just going to help you become the best version of you. It really does coincide with the 6-month journey that I did. It's very, very similar, but the content that we're creating for it is consistent. It's never ending. So we are uploading things to it weekly. We did start a podcast and that is something that's also going to be on this. And we are uploading, again, content weekly on this platform. She is actually almost here and we're going to film a podcast that we need to upload onto this because this is going to be live. In fact, if you're watching this video, Master Myself is live and you can access this right now. It's linked below in the description. I will also have it pinned in the top comment. I've also included all of my workouts that I did throughout the 6-month journey and it's me actually doing the workout. So it's like a video of each day, Monday through Friday. If you like to follow along with those workouts, rather than in my PDF that I had included, it was just pictures showing you the movements, but this is me actually doing it. And then it's like there's a 30-second break. You're just following along the workouts. Bobby also has a bunch of yoga flows and meditations. Those, you guys, have completely transformed my life mentally and spiritually. I would say Bobby's yoga classes and her meditations, and she does kind of like a meditation while you're doing your yoga. It's unlike anything I've ever done before. And I would say anyone that's ever gone to any of her classes leaves in tears. Like that is a normal thing to happen in her yoga classes. I'm just excited for you guys to have access to this. So I do want to thank anyone in advance that subscribes to our Patreon because as we've been going back and forth and deciding how we are going to to put this out here for everyone. This is what we felt the most right about, and you know, we're splitting this, and so it's a couple dollars a month for a subscription. I again just want to thank you guys, any of you who subscribe. This is for anyone looking to improve themselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. If that's something you're looking to do and just honestly become the highest version of yourself, I would highly suggest at least checking it out. Check it out. We have a ton of videos and content in there right now ready to go, but on a weekly basis there will be new content. So we are just excited to get started. I'm pretty sure she's almost here. So we do have a podcast we need to sit down and film. In fact, the one that we are filming today, and it will be up when this is all live, is creating your life vision. Now, Bobby is a wellness and life coach. I did this with her at the end of last year, and I felt like it was the roadmap I had been needing to finally figure out what do I even want with my life. It's literally about every topic in your life. The way she lays this out is amazing, and that is actually the topic that we are going to be covering today. So I am so excited to film this. Again, this will be live up on our website. So if you want to access that right now, we'll finish this video and then you can access it through the link below.
One of our former podcasts, we talked a little bit how if you don't decide for yourself who you are, life is going to happen to you. But if you get clear and conscious on what direction that you want to take in life, then you can decide for yourself who you are and what your life means. Our roadmap that's going to come as you try to seek out your destination. Totally. It's no different than when you plug into the map, you're driving from Utah to California to go to Disney World. If you were driving there, you're gonna put that destination in the Google Maps or whatever it is you're using. You're taking that direction, and guess what? There could be road construction and you might have to take a little detour, but it's gonna reroute you and still get you there. This is the same as a life vision creation. You are going to begin to create your reality by using the power of your words to set a destination in your mind so that your actions, thoughts, and behaviors can follow.
So good. I'm so excited.
It's way more simple than you realize, and it's one of my favorite topics to talk about. It's what I do personal coaching on all the time. If you can create that meditation, you're going to change your neural pathways, the way you think, the way you perceive the world, your circumstances that you're going through. It really changes you from the inside out.
Tonight and tomorrow I don't have my kids, so usually on these nights I will cook up something one time and I'll have it for 2 nights in a row, if that makes sense. So these chicken thighs from Walmart are so good. It's like $4, and so I'll eat one tonight and one tomorrow. But they're covered with teriyaki sauce and they're so freaking good. I have this and I'll mix it with one of the rice. I have an avocado and I'll just steam up some veggies and I just make a little chicken rice veggie bowl, and it is so good. When it's just me and I'm alone here at nighttime without kids, my nights are really, really calm. Obviously, when I have my kids, my nights look completely different. They're really busy. You know, we do dinner, baths, homework. My twins' love language is watching Marvel movies with them. And so For the past, let's see, we're on the 26th Marvel movie, and we watch about 30 minutes to an hour every single night. Most nights it takes us a few nights to watch one, but yeah, we're on number 26. Did you know there's that many Marvel movies, by the way? I feel like we're just getting started because now there's gonna be a million like seasons or series of different movies. Anyway, my nights are just busy with kids, but no matter if my kids are here or they're not here, I do the same thing. I always end my night with my journal again. So I will start my day with my journal with my intentions, and I set my intentions for the day. And what I like to do at nighttime is I'll go back and I'll read what my intentions are. And because I know I'm going to do this at night, I'm like 100 times more likely to get the things done that I wanted to, that I wrote out, like, this is my intention for the day. And usually when I'm setting my intentions for the day, it's more than just like a checklist of like, I want to get this done and this done and this done. I'm also writing out, I want to be intentional with my thoughts. I don't want to let my thoughts be negative. If I have negative thoughts, I want to redirect. And I will say this year, I have been, not this year, but the past year, I have gotten really good at redirecting my thoughts because I don't want to be negative. I know when you have consistent negative thoughts, it leads to a negative day, which leads to a negative life. So how we combat that is focusing on being intentional with even the thoughts you're having each day. So every day, I write, my intentions are every single day I will write that I will be positive and that I will redirect those thoughts. It just helps me be aware of what I'm thinking. And if you're aware of what you're thinking, you're going to be aware of what you're doing. You guys, your whole entire life can change just based off of that alone. If you can harness your thoughts, you can change your entire life, because everything starts with that. So I will come back at nighttime and I will write down how my day went, or if there's any really great things that happened that day, I'll write down all of that in my journal, and I just kind of reflect on the day. And I love ending my nights like this, and I've been so consistent with this. Since I've started journaling every single day, I've been really good at it the last 2 months. I have not missed one day. Where before, when I would journal, it would just be like those little entries. I have my 6-minute journal. I have a 5-minute journal and I did a 6-minute journal. They're basically the same thing, where I would just write like 3 things I wanted to do that day, positive affirmations. That is a great place to start. And that was all the journaling I was doing before. Now I like to actually write out what's going on in my life, because it's really been therapeutic for me and I've loved it. If you're not good at journaling, that's a great place to start, is with one of those journals. But for me anyway, this is what I'm doing. This has been life-changing, and I look forward to these moments at nighttime. Usually by the time I sit down and journal, my youngest sleeps with me. And so my 4-year-old will be right here next to me while I'm journaling, and as he's like falling asleep. So I'll read to him, get him ready for bed, and then I will journal. So this is how I like to end my night every night. I do need to go wash my face. I haven't done that yet, you can tell. This is also where I will track, since I've been doing my 10,000 steps. I'm like, yes, I got those in. I make sure that's like a non-negotiable. If I set out to do that, it's a non-negotiable for me. And so I said, every day in February, I'm gonna do it. And each day I just make sure that that is something that happens. And so today I just took my watch off and put it on the charger. I'm gonna go grab it and see. I know I passed 10,000, barely. I barely hit 10,000 today. I did have to get a few more steps in on the treadmill tonight. Some days that's just how it goes. And some days I hit 13,000, like no problem. So I just never know how my days are. That is what a typical day looks like for me. Again, this is me without kids. If I have my kids, it's a lot busier. But I did feel like since I don't have them, it's easier for me to film and talk and explain things better. So I thought that this would be a good day for me to do that. So thanks for keeping me company today, because I didn't have my kids and days like this do get kind of lonely. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in more videos like this, let me know, because I enjoy making videos like this. So I would be happy to get more up for you guys. So thanks again. I'll see you guys in the next video.